Hello everybody, Sunday Q&A. Right, I have a bit of a problem. It's my life, isn't it? For some bizarre reason, Saturday's Q&A, which I did yesterday morning, and I'm just spending all day trying to get it uploaded, it still keeps saying pending. I think YouTube's got a block or something like that. So I don't quite know how this is going to work. And whether Saturday Q&A and Sunday Q&A will go up at the same time, or you'll get Saturday Q&A on Saturday night or Sunday morning, or Sunday Q&A will go on, I don't know. But anyway, here we are. I'm sure we'll get there eventually. That's a bit sort of light and bright up there, isn't it? Right, so this week, out in 7.5 tonne. Still trying to get the grips of things. I had a meeting yesterday morning, Saturday morning, which to me is this morning, with my transport manager. Yeah, 6 infringements. Twice I went over hours. I don't even know how I'd done that. Over driving time. Once I know all about because I left my Tacho card in. I'm not even sure what they are. But the long and short of it seems to be that if you do an infringement 3 times, the same infringement 3 times, it's got to send you on a course. It's not the end of the world. What I aim to do is, now I'm a bit out of shot, aren't I? Let's go over there because it's a bit bright over here. What I aim to do is stop making infringements. I've got a plan, which is on a usual day. And he also says, doing really well there, don't split your brakes. He says, they don't like the fact you split your brakes. So basically, do a job, have a 45-minute break, but not 45 minutes, 46, 47 minutes. Tesco drivers told 48 minutes. Do a job, go home. That seems to be the way. So that's kind of what I think we're going to be aiming for, like, you know. And don't go too far. I've just messed up a couple of times because I went too far. Once I went too far, and once I went too far. Well, I didn't go too far, but I got caught in traffic. But we learn as we go, so I'm getting onto it. Anyway, so that's it so far. But first of all, thanks to Arpad, Bob Keane and Jason Burke and everybody else who wish me luck with it. And also to Yorkshire Daily Grind and Matt Hodges and Sean Blackburn and everyone else regarding the 13 hours and the 15 hours. And the I kind of know it. It's just the difference between knowing it in theory and putting it into practice. So now I've got to work out a sensible way of putting it into practice, and then we'll all be golden. I hope. The only snag does, I kind of thought, well, I might be able to get 3 jobs in a day, and if you could get like 1.5 a job, that's a very good day's wages. Now I'm thinking I'm going to get 2 jobs in a day. I might try and charge slightly more for jobs, or I might take jobs which are going 100 miles, or rather than like 20 miles, or I'm just going to have to wait and see. But anyway, I'll keep you guys informed. That's what I do. And as Bob Royal says, 15 times 3 hours a week plus time directive plus driver's hours is like the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know if it's that complicated. I think it's just a matter of me being a newbie and me just getting the hang of it. But, well, like I say, watch your space. That's a long thing, it makes a point. He says, you make these videos on how much you're doing a 7.5 tonne truck, then everybody will get one and you'll drive the price down. I'll be honest with you, mate, the thought had gone through my head. I don't do myself any favours here, but someone said to me at the very beginning, they said, when you joined up with a CX and you're telling everybody to get a Luton van, you're doing all right, then a load of Luton vans come in your area, it's competition. Yeah, I haven't been doing myself any favours all the way through, to be honest with you, but I believe in karma. I say, as a result of me helping a guy around a corner in like a long wheelbase, my mate Richard, he could potentially be competition on one of my jobs because he lives in Dunstable and I live around the corner. But by helping Richard, I got in contact with Richard. Richard got me an MIT. Now Richard's telling me, because of his connections in the bus garage, he actually knows people that might need 7.5 tonnes. We might go to work together. I just believe that by helping people, it comes back on you. Could be wrong, but it hasn't let me down yet. So, you know, we'll see how we go. So, Paula Bevan said, got a job going. Oh, yeah, mate. He said, I got a job going down to Cornwall on Thursday. Decent job. He said, then I've got one booked coming out of Devon on a Friday. He says, I went down to Cornwall, stayed overnight, picked up Friday morning. It took him 5 hours to get out of trip Devon. He said, traffic was horrendous. Tell me about it. I booked that job down to Bristol, thinking, you know, I can normally get down to Bristol 2.5, 3 hours, 5.5 hours to get down there. When I came out after doing that video, thank God I got in when I did. I was driving past the traffic on the road, they were just parked. They were, I was moving when I was going. I was moving 10, 20 miles an hour, but I was moving. They were just parked. I think I would have pulled off. I think I would have been stuck in Bristol on a Friday night. I'd have had to drive back on Saturday morning. Otherwise, I'd have done myself in. So, but we learn as we go. There you go. Steve Bradley says, what are the fuel costs? I think they cost around, running the 7.5 tonne, I think is coming in about 35p a mile. In the Luton, it was coming in about 25p a mile. But when you bear in mind in the Luton, I was getting £1.10 a mile, and in the 7.5 tonne, I'm getting £182 a mile, I'll pay the extra 10 pence. There's all the aggravation and the driver's hours and the operators and the CPT, the test that goes with it, but I'm there with that one. Now, AdBlue is driving me mad though. And I see the point with Al now with the AdBlue, which is the fact that, if you're running out of petrol, even if you're diesel, you haven't got a diesel card or whatever, or not in the station, you can always go into a local petrol station, put some diesel in. AdBlue, where do I get it from? It's not... motorway service stations have normally got it. They're around about £1 a litre. You can buy them in them tubs. They're around about £2 a litre. The best place for me is the transport firm around the corner I do regular work for, and they'll let me use theirs. They're 50p a litre on the pump, but I'm not always in there, and I don't want to just go in there just to use their AdBlue. So advice on AdBlue, please, would be gratefully received, as well as advice on a tyre place, a national tyre place, and advice on them sticky things you put on windows to reduce your blind spot, and what I have to put on my tyres so that I can inflate them in motorway service stations because the valve goes the wrong way in, and sure many other questions. Oh, and how to secure the barn doors on the back of my curtain side. I'm using the straps at the moment, it's not wise. Right, on the back of this 7.5 tonne thing, I got a lot of Tacho advice, which was kind of cool. Mark Lachlan said, he said, when you're on the Tacho, when you're actually unloading, you can be on break, but he said some people turn it to bed. Of course, he never did. Of course not. No. Yeah, I know. The problem with all that is you never know when the ministry are going to get you. I was talking to my transport manager this morning, and he said they know for a fact. He says, if you go into Lidl's or Aldi's or one of them, he said they make you unload your own motors. He said, so if they go in, he said they wait outside. If you go in and then you put it on bed and then you unload the motor and then you drive out, they go, it's hammers, mate, isn't it? So I'm going to try and be a good boy. I'm going to try and do 2 jobs a day. I'm trying to do it kosher. And also, if I can get this 3/4 of an hour break in the middle of the day, I will have more time to upload videos, which means at least you guys will get them on time. YouTube and their bottleneck thing. Is it Steve Carell? Steve Carell said, yeah, POA on a bay. He said if it goes for POA for more than 45 minutes, you can count it as a driving break. I don't know if that's true, but I think the POA does count. According to my Daniel, again, my transport manager, he said it doesn't count as your daily rest, but it does count across your week as breaks. So I'm going to learn all this. If I actually get to the bottom of it and I think I know what I'm doing, I'll probably make a video about it, which will probably be wrong, but we'll see. He also said if he drives for a company, they use a digicard. Oh yeah, because he drives for a company, so they use the digicard as a clock, and they only pay for working hours. So if you're on rest, they don't pay. I think that's a bit mean, personally. He said, but they do pay for POA apparently. So the drivers that download the digicard, you have to download every 28 days to the driver's card. And what we've got now, I've got Tacho Master. It's £1 a driver a week. And bearing in mind, I'm the only driver, that's 52 quid a year. I've had worse news. And what I've got is one of these card readers, which Daniel's given me, and you plug that into the computer. And what I'm going to do is every Saturday morning, plug the card in, just download it. Because if I synchronise it, all my hours that synchronise thing, he can then access his computer, and he can say, it means he doesn't have to come over once. I mean, I think he might come over next month to download from the Tacho head, but eventually I'll buy the thing to download from the Tacho head, and I can do it all, and he can just open up all he needs to do is open up his computer, see a load of green lights, say thank you very much, Peter, click the button, I'll pay him, job done. So, and he's worth his weight in gold. I'm more than happy with that. So we just got to get there. That's the plan, you see. So, done that bit. Right, Daniel O'Brien and Yorkshire Daily Guide. Yeah, the Tacho head on the thing needs to be. I think the Tacho head on the truck needs to be done every 56 days, and you can upload it on a computer. But if I get the equipment myself, I'll probably end up doing it if you have to upload it every 56 days, but I assume you can do it whenever you need to. So I'll probably just do the driver's card maybe once a week, and I might do the Tacho on the head maybe once a month or something like that. I'll get to the bottom of it. We're getting there. Long journey, but we're getting there. Moaning Truck TV says, get yourself a Tacho 2 safe for downloading. Shows the infringements. He said the DVSA don't care that you're new. So I can't do anything about that. I'm just going to have to put my hands up and they're going to do with me what they're going to do with me. I looked at one of those Tacho to safeguards. They're like 200 quid. I could almost buy a computer for that. So it's a nice idea. I might try and find a cheap way around it. Oh, by the way, I've been using that Road Lords sat-nav now in the truck for about 2 weeks. I've actually swapped over from Waze to Road Lords. I run Waze in the background on the sound because it's much better for live traffic updates. And I use Road Lords. And a lot of the time it's taking me on better routes, taking me on quicker routes, taking me to the right places. It shows me all the parking spaces that are coming up and I now realise how vital they are because a couple of times I've been thinking, oh, I'm nearly out of time, I've got to stop. Got to get my head around that one. But no, Road Lords is working out well for me. So there you go. Right, this is a miscellaneous one. I did do one, but it didn't get many feedback on it, which is how to get paid on the CX. Leighton Charles says, make sure you set up your bank account on the CX and tick to have your bank details put on the bottom of the invoice or they won't pay. So that's worth doing. I mean, I just took it as read. You put your bank details on the CX. When the invoices are generated, they should be sent out. They should have your sort code and your bank details on the bottom of it. And as a hint also, if you're using a factoring company, you don't have to put the factoring company's name. So you might want the factoring company's bank details and the sort code, but put your own name because then sometimes people who don't pay factoring companies won't realise it's a factoring company and pay it anyway. There we go. So we're on to miscellaneous. What have we got? A van on the run. I love that name. I think it's great. He says you could do a whole series on that. Yeah, I probably could if I knew what I was talking about. But no, on the whole, I think it strikes me that if you're a big company, be VAT registered. You've got to be. If you're just a one-man band, be VAT registered. Get on the flat rate. It's less of a headache. Jason Stott said he didn't like the speed awareness course on Zoom. No more speeding. After doing that course, I've completely changed my approach to traffic lights. I really thought orange was go if you can. Now I know orange means stop. I actually slow down on I'm getting terrible. Well, I don't want any more. I don't need any more infringements. But now if it's on green, I go. If it's on green and I'm coming up for a little while, I slow down. If it's on orange, I stop every time now. No more anchors for me. Don't want people running in the back. So yeah. But no, I've got to say, all these courses I've done, I've learned something from every single one I've done. Admittedly, I might have been on it for 5 hours and learned one thing, but every single course has taught me something I needed to know. Right, Hot Wheel Nation, this is Chris. This is one of our drivers helping you guys out who don't want to watch the adverts. He said AdBlock Plus is free and it's an ad blocker. So presumably if you download AdBlock Plus, you can watch my videos, but you don't have to watch the adverts, which means I don't get paid, but I don't care. So if that helps you guys, if the adverts are driving you mad, AdBlock Plus apparently is the way forward. He also said you were, yeah. He said you used to charge for handball. If he was told it wasn't a handball. But now, basically the long and short is he's become much more relaxed about his handball. Chris, I'm very pleased about that. Don't ring him up and say I've been on the job for another 15 minutes. Can I have another $5, please? It's like just get the boxes off and get done. But he's doing all right. I hope he's doing all right. We need to find him a bigger van. That's the next plan on that one. Longfinger says, how many 7.5 ton customers do you have, or are you mainly relying on the CX? At the moment, I have got, it's not a matter of how many 7.5 ton customers I've got. We're up to about 5 customers at the moment. But of those 5 customers, each one of them at some stage might require a 7.5 ton. One of them does engineering stuff. It might be a small chain, or it might be like 5 digger buckets. One of them does pub fitting. I mean, I did an exhibition once and we had to transport this massive great thing. We barely got it in the loot and it was heavy, it was big. If I'd have had a 7.5 ton, that would have gone on that. One of them does steel and I haven't been able to work for him for a little while, but now I'm bang on with him again. So I'm just trying to think of the others. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. And in the meantime, and also, and one of the guys, my mate Lee, again, we were doing like planets of hand sanitizer for it. But sometime hopefully he wants to book me for a day a month, but that probably won't start till August. He starts to get busy. So just get in there, mate. You're working my way through, So, it says 5X Love. Can you talk more about factoring companies? I can, but I don't really know what else to say. There is a factoring company we use. It's Simpsons. I recommend them. I think they're the best. Like I say, you need to be turning over enough dough to use them. Ideally, if you can get away with that, a factoring company, I would. But if you need one to cover the thing, give them a ring, see if you're eligible. And if you've got to have one, I find Skipton's rather, are the best one to use. And there's that one. I was talking to Daniel this morning. He uses Lloyd's. But there's I think their interest rate might be slightly cheaper, but there's charges, and this one doesn't charge. One interest rate, bang done. Salim Alswad said, "What's Darren's channel?" Remember Darren who used to do the thing? I believe it's called The Fifth Wheel. If I can get a link up there, I will. Yeah, he's still out there doing it. I haven't spoken to him for ages. I really should. I've had a lot on my plate lately. But yeah, I believe it's called Try The Fifth Wheel. And yeah, it should be on there somewhere. Tim Jones says, on fuel cards. Oh yeah, he said I got into trouble with fuel cards. And this, I wonder how much of them they play on this. And this is why I didn't want to go in the beginning. It's because like, you use the fuel card, but then if the money's not in your account, they charge you. He said, I basically owed 18 quid or something like that, but there wasn't the money to cover the £18. So they charged me a £50 fine. And it's one of those ones in the end, he ended up paying 20 quid a week just to clear it. Yeah, fuel cards frighten me. You can do the other ones. You can do like prepaid fuel cards where you put the money up front. You can do ones where there are different ways around it. I didn't get a fuel card until I had the money there ready to go. Because for the same reason, it frightened me. But yeah, I understand your chagrin there, mate. It's a bit of a kicker, isn't it, when they charge you £50 and you are 18. But, you know, it costs, what's it, Michael Caine says, it's expensive being poor. Keith says, look into a cheap, the laser printer thing. Get a cheap desktop laser printer because the powder never dries out. Generic cartridges are cheap and they work fine. I turned around to the woman, I said, because I said the printer's not working very well. And he said that this was a bad printout. She said, okay. I said, I'm going to get a laser. And she went, well, yeah, okay. I went, no, I don't mean a laser printer. I'm going to get a laser. I'm going to blow it up. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of slowly starting to get upstairs as an office, but I don't really need it because we've got Jem and she sorts it all out. But I kind of think it would be handy to have stuff. I'll see how it goes when the time comes. I'm sure I'll need one. You know what, kid? That's right, something. That's more. What we got here? Old vans on the CX. Steve Campbell says oh, this was quite amusing actually, yeah. He said he had this old blue van on the CX. He turned up and this lady turned him away. She said, no, you're not taking it in that. So instead she booked someone else. He turned up in a 62 plate sprint. Oh, lovely, all shiny, fantastic. En route, halfway around, he broke down. So she had to ring him again and he charged double money to meet the guy in the Sprinter and take it to where it was going anyway. So there you go. Never judge a book by its cover. You know, so there we go. Oh, Ron Gill says, lovely nose hair. Yeah, and that wasn't even from the shop that had the video. I've actually bought some trimmers. I haven't used them yet. They're in a box. There you go. Always take the criticism on board, you know. Here we go with this. Right, there's a load of miscellaneous today. Jason Burke. He said, you didn't get to drive into Europe in a Luton. How about now? You've got the truck and the bed. Unfortunately, no. Because now I have a standard national licence. And in the truck they give, I don't even think they grant you an international. They want to see that you can run first. So I actually can't go into Europe anymore. I'm basically stuck in the UK. I can go to Northern Ireland, but so I might get on a ferry there. I might go to the Isle of Wight, but no, or Woolwich. But other than that, no ferries for me, which I'm happy about. I'm like I say, I'm going to try and get this down to 2 jobs a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon home. I've got stuff that needs doing around the house, hedges need doing, tiles are falling off the roof, stuff needs painting. And yeah, I don't know. I've just got guilt. I just think I'm coming home, if I'm doing something around the house, I should be out earning money. But there you go. SSC says he said about the courier exchange, he said he's using the haulage exchange, similar but with big trucks. I have run them and I have said there is no one doing videos about haulage exchange. I don't need it because I get it free with the CX. I'm only in a 7.5 tonne, but if we can come to some sort of an arrangement, because it's still a bugbear of mine that I do this and nothing comes back, but I've stopped moaning about that at some stage. And I could maybe jump on the haulage exchange and do some stuff on that. I'm kind of intrigued. I also like the fact it's blue. The CX and the Icon's yellow, the haulage is blue. It's a pretty better colour. So, yeah, I'll have to do that in a minute, anyway. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what they come back with. There you go. So, Andrew Alsop says he's passed his category C. That's Andrew. He was on the course with me at the same time. Can I do one on strapping down a load? As soon as I've got a better idea of how it goes, I'll do one for you, Andrew. Absolutely. Godzilla says, he said the Toddington HGV parking gets ploughed every night. It's certainly a test for your straps. I don't know what ploughed means. You have to inform me of that. I don't know if that's where they go around the trailers that are curtain side looking if there's anything that might be loose that they might like sort of think, I'll have that. It frightens me. I would rather just get my jobs done, come back empty, parked up empty. That way, all they're ever going to get off my truck is like a pallet truck and a sack barrow. But we'll have to wait and see on it. Yeah, again, I'd rather not have gear on overnight because you're not insured. Your goods in transit doesn't count if you're parked. So I don't really want to go down that road if I can avoid it. Dolly Dalton says something wrong with the 6. Oh yes, so this is what drives him mad about the 6. He said the job was published, and I quote, 2 pallets, 1,100 kilos, short wheelbase. He said they shouldn't be allowed to post them. I know, I've seen it before. Luton van, 7 pallets. You know, European standard. You think, well, maybe if you've got an extra long bed, but the truth of the matter is anybody who's daft enough to post those jobs is going to come unstuck. So you just have to wait, and I'm sure they won't be around forever. The conveyor belt of fools, we'll do a video about it one day. Lindsay Folks said the CX is a race to the bottom. Why would you pay to work? Card local firms, email local logistic firms. That's all well and good, but the CX, I've said this before, is actually designed as a backload platform. Originally, I've talked to my mate Simple Brian about this, he said originally you could get proper jobs off it and it was all fine. He said, but it's actually designed as a backload platform. So the idea is you card your local firm, they give you a job from Dunstable to Brighton, lovely. Then what do? What you're going to do, sort of go card the firms down in Brighton? You might only be there once. Go around, knock on their doors, go, hello, I'm in Brighton, I'm going back to Dunstable. Anybody need any pallets moving? That's where the CX comes into its own. That's basically what it does. You get your end user customer, gives you London to Brighton for 200 quid, and then you're in Brighton and you pick up a job Brighton to London, 70 quid, it covers your diesel. That's kind of the way it works. Knowledge is power, you pay for knowledge. Francis Bacon, knowledge is power. There you go. James Curtis and Lewis Gates both asked, should they be sole trader or should they go limited company? I would say start as a sole trader. Start as a sole trader. I'm still a sole trader, technically. We still haven't gone limited. We've got to at some stage. But with the lockdown, everything went sideways. Start as a sole trader. You've got enough on your plate, trying to work out the invoices, trying to work out the apps, trying to work out how things go. You can go limited later. Sort that one out later, I would. Kaylin Warren says, do prices change much between summer and winter? Normally, it gets busier. I'm going to do a video for this on this one, the seasons on the CX. Normally what would happen, January, February is kept a season, it goes quieter, and it gets slowly busier, all the way through till Christmas when it gets really busy, and then Christmas, it just stops. Very little happens between Christmas and New Year, and then it takes a bit of a dip, just like probably pretty much any other trade. But Thomas Talbot, can I charge people for postage and stamps? That's almost worth a video on its own. The whole paper POD thing is a bugbear thing. You can turn around and go, I'll do the job for £20 or I'll do it for £21 if I've got to pay for stamps. It's just too much of a kerfuffle. I would just say, I think you basically have to swallow that one of the on costs. He said, because the stamps and the postage, you can do yourself a favour, post everything second class. There's no such thing as first class anymore. First class and second class used to occur when you used to get 2 postmen a day. Now you just get 1. Post everything second class, you cut your prices in half. And if you're doing an awful lot, maybe think about getting a franking machine. But there's no real way around that, mate. It's just, unfortunately, it's one of the on costs. Tiffy Cornwall says, in a long wheelbase down in Cornwall, in a long wheelbase, is it forked on or is it handball? And also, are there many drivers? Because he's thinking maybe the missus won't have a go. I would say every job is completely different, and you've got a 50-50 chance probably between fork truck and handball. So if it's going to be, the only thing you can do, you can ring them and ask them before you go down there. If it's the missus and you say, right, I've got that job, I can be there in 10 minutes, I have to ask what the load is, I'm a lady. You do get ladies on the exchange, you don't get many. I would say it's 95% men and maybe even 98% men, but you do get women. And you just have to ring them and ask them, say, is it heavy? Because I won't be able to lump it. And they'll say yes or no. So, every job's different, but you can ask the questions. Stuart Lucas says, what vehicles do they list on the CX? He's looking for 3.5 tonne trailer work. Trailer work, I presume that means you're driving around in a pickup and a trailer, picking up cars, stuff like that. Very, very rare. You might get one job in 100. So if that's the kind of work you're looking for, I would actually advise against it, my friend. Sorry, I'm sure that's not the news you want to hear, but yeah, it's like Bacon Beluda also said he's thinking about going on it part-time. Again, no, I wouldn't advise. It's kind of by the time you're taking your expenses, I'll do one for you, but I would say if that's your case, not for you. Sorry, guys. Kane Yakazu says, should he manage himself, or should he drive and manage himself, or should he let the missus do it? It's entirely up to you. Personally, I would say start off doing it yourself, do the driving, do the invoicing, work out how the system works. Then once you've got a hang of it, you could turn around and say to the missus, right, this is how this works, this is how this works. Then you both know it. Then you've got belts and braces. That way, if, for example, you get the missus to do it and then for some reason she has to go and visit someone and you have to do, or, gets ill or something, heaven forbid, you'd know how to do it. So I would say start off doing it yourself, learn how to do it yourself, then maybe teach you how to do the office work when the time comes. And I think this is the final one now. Gilly Eugene says, says he hates the call in do I have to call every time? No, you can equal. But if you equal, I just find that if I call, I win 1 in 2. If I equal, I win 1 in 5. But I wouldn't get scared about it. It's the bidding process is driving him mad. You get the hang of it. Finally, conclusion. Oh, God. So much to do. We did a question last week. And it's from Nick Harper Valentine, and he said basically if a blue light is emergency vehicles and a green light is ambulance and this sort of medical vehicles, and a yellow light is recovery type vehicles, service vehicles, what's a white light? And it turned out to be nuclear disposal vehicles. Mike Pulpit said, I'm an ex-Coast Guard, and I was sort of white flashing light as a lighthouse. Yeah, worth bearing in mind. So either it's nuclear or better keep away from that white light, otherwise you might smash into a load of rocks. There you go. That's it. Saturday and Sunday Q&A, and whichever way it comes across. I'll do some more, guys. I'm going to have to do one a day. Gonna have to. Hope they're not driving you too mad, and I am going to get my hang around these 7.5 ton driving hours and how to take money.